Hello, everybody. Welcome in Junior College Hard 91 final episode. Best time of the year, World Series previews, D1, D2, D3. Tons of action. Selection shows earlier this week. The teams know that they're in. And now we get to the good stuff. Zach McKinstry and Noah Sharp. And I am really excited to get these World Series going.
Man, it is these selections. So even though I somewhat knew I had my predictions, I had my hunches. I'm still sweating it just as much as they are because more I'm wanting to know what seeds are going to be matched up because okay, I have how I think teams could play, but then you don't know really how teams are going to shape up, how teams are going to match up from all the divisions that there's some things I did not agree with, and you knew that before anybody how I felt about that because like seconds after it got announced, it's just a singular text with like two words, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, I am so stoked. I'm very jealous that you are going to go to Grand Junction and you get to call those games. Maybe one of these years we'll convince good old Chris to let me be the color guy and you be the play-by-play, and then it'll be like the McAfee cast or the Manning cast, but
Yeah.
just junior college baseball and all vibes and fun. And yeah, maybe one of these years it'll happen. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm jealous you're going to be on the Rockies or the West Rockies for the next like week and a half, 2 weeks.
That's why I'm home now. Got to get ready, get packed, get out there, and get ready to be on the call on Saturday to start that tournament. And yeah, maybe one of these years would be a lot of yapping on ESPN Plus for sure. So really excited. Let's dive into D1. Let's start with the D1 matchups. We'll break them down matchup by matchup at the end. We'll go through some predictions and some players to watch throughout the tournament. But starting in Grand Junction. 4 seed and 7 seed the first game. It's Johnson County against McLennan. Really good pitching on the Johnson County side. They survived the Plains District for the third straight year, and they're going up against a red-hot Highlanders team who finished in third place in Region 5 North and then rallied back in the postseason to earn their spot here in Grand Junction. So what do you like about this 4 and 7?
So everyone that knew, I think it was last year, Johnson. So obviously Johnson County's third straight trip. Like not many teams in Kansas go three in a row. And Johnson County really like has punched that ticket and has kind of cemented themselves as that cream of the crop there in Kansas. I mean, they're riding an 11-game win streak. The Kansas tournament was wild. I will hint, because we didn't have a show last week, what Cloud County did, losing game one of that crazy double elimination thing, and then winning out, and then almost taking it to a winner take all game is just wild with how competitive all those teams are and just what you have to do. I think they played 6 or 7 games, a couple double headers, like in like 3-4 days. Like what they did is wild. I mean, that's not what this is about, but hey, I got to give props where props are due because Cloud County, like, man, I did not see that coming. But I mean, I picked Johnson County last year, did not go well. So, I mean, is what it is. But I mean, they're battle tested, like we just said. Getting out of Kansas is extremely hard. And doing it 3 years in a row, it's not easy. I mean, right now they're 6. You were talking about their pitching, but like they're 6 in the country right now in hitting. They're hitting 355s as a team. They have 229 extra base hits, 70 of which are home runs, which if you know anything about Grand Junction, the ball flies. So they're really set up for success there. For McLennan, I mean, they're third in the country right now in home runs. So another team, like having a makeup of a team, it's weird to say, designing your team to hit in Grand Junction, like it's so hard to get there. But once you get there, if you can hit the long ball, like, dude, you're going to be successful. You just got to get it up and it goes. But yeah, they're third in the country into that. They're first in the country in walks too. So McLennan, yeah, they're going to hit the long ball, but they're going to wait for that pitch. They've walked, I think it's like 400 sometimes. I don't know why I didn't write that specific number down, but they're going to wait you out. They're going to wait for that pitch and then they're going to capitalize on it. So that doesn't really shape up for a good pitching staff, but also it can shape up for a good pitching staff. So this is really kind of a coin toss matchup. I think when I did mine, I think I have Johnson County winning it, but really it's going to come down to which staff can hold the ball in the park. That's where this one is going to really come down to.
Yeah, I mean, it should be really exciting, especially the way McLennan closed out that postseason run. Speaking of home runs, let's move to the 1 and 10 seed, starting with Walter State, Eastern Oklahoma State. I know you were higher on a lot of the Oklahoma teams all year long. The Mountaineers are a great story, but running into a buzzsaw in the number 1 seed in Walter State, in what world do you see EOSC pulling off an upset?
I don't, but like I've been wrong. There's been a lot of craziness that has happened here. There's only ever been since the seeding has ever been seeded. I think it's 5 or 6 years. I think I posted it the other day, but there's only been one seed that has ever won it, and that was Central Florida 2-3 years ago. And I think the longest game ever recorded in Junior College World Series history is like 5.5 hours. I unfortunately fell asleep in like the 12th inning of that game. I tried to do it. I just couldn't. But man, I mean, Walter State is number 1 in the country in homers. I think it's some ridiculous. They're the number 1 offense in the country. They are number 1 in 6 different offensive categories. And the biggest thing for them is that home run number. They have 125 home runs, 29 of which are coming from Tyler Myatt, who has had a historic year. I don't think there's been a 500 hitter since Cale Baker, who was at Wabash Valley, who I don't think they made a Grand Junction that year, but he hit like 30 home runs, hit 5 something. It was wild. I mean, I compared that earlier in the year, and it seemed to have panned out. I think he's pretty safe at being the Triple Crown winner, which again, I don't think has happened since Cale Baker. But then also on their pitching staff, they're second in batting average against. So they're hitting a ton of runs, but they're only giving the teams against them are only hitting 226. So they're not giving a bunch of runs. They also have 12 shutouts this year, which is second best in the country. So they're going to hit the long ball, but they're also going to not let you score. It's kind of a double-edged sword is what you need in Grand Junction, a team that doesn't give up runs, doesn't allow hits, but then also scores a ton. So this team, I would say this year, as with every year, looking kind of at the grand scape of things, I'll kind of hit that on that later, but there's a couple records I think that could be in jeopardy this year. Eastern Oklahoma, as a team, they're really good. I'm going to pay homage to their old staff. They used to have a saying there. It was KYF. It was keep your fork. Something good's always coming. Dessert's coming. And boy, once it hit regional play for them, they kept that fork ready and they ate. They ate the region 2. Then they get to a really, really hot mineral area team. They beat them in 3 games. Like they just, down the stretch, they have been one of the hottest teams. I love their black jerseys, the yellow writing. They're awesome. What the key for them is going to have their shortstop, Jack Runsick, I think that's how you pronounce it, keeping hot. I mean, down the stretch, he's hitting 352, 16 doubles, 7 triple, 6 homers. He's really been that key bat for them all year, but really in the postseason. But man, it's not an easy draw to have Walter State on. I think they broke half of Tennessee's hitting records this year too. So it's not just like they're hitting on because they're like historically doing stuff that hasn't been done. And those numbers are only going to increase. They could do it. I mean, Mineral Area was a great team. Connor State, Seminole State, they had the gauntlet that they had to go through, but it is an uphill battle for Eastern Oklahoma. And man, I don't know how you can do it. Someone could do it and prove me wrong, and it'd be awesome. But man, this is a very, very tough 1 versus 10, or which there's a couple other of these opening round 1 versus other matchups I'm not happy about, but we'll get to those when we get to the other divisions.
Yep. And for Eastern Oklahoma, first tournament since 2001. Maybe they got a little bit of magic in their first time back in over 20 years. So we'll see. That's the 1v10. Let's go to the number 2 versus the number 9. It's Blinn and Lakeland, defending national champs against a feisty Lakeland team that can score a lot of runs.
So Blinn, obviously, defending national champs. There has not been a defending national champ at this level since Chipola did it. In 2018, 2019, or 2017, 2018. It was ever the first year I started doing this. That was when they won the back-to-back one. But their pitching is kind of really big for them. They have a former junior college guy that was one of Dusty's guys when he was at Grayson. I'm blanking on his name, Chase Van Dyke. But he's really kind of come on strong and really kind of shaped that pitching staff. They're 5th in the country right now in ERA with a 3.68. They have a team whip of 1.44. They have 11 shutouts. So that's 5th in the country. They're going to not allow runs. They dropped the game early, though, which is kind of crazy. They threw off in their regional games or in their regional to get to that district game or series against San Jack. They threw their 3. Wharton or Parrish jumped on them real early, but then they ran through that losers bracket. So they know how to play. Obviously, they won a national title last year. They know how to play when balls are against the walls, and you have to win because they had to do that through this playoff run. So Blinn is just, they know how to win. Them getting the 2 is not surprising. Defending national champs, you make it back. You get past a historical San Jack team. But this is probably the one matchup in this bracket that I think the upset can happen. Lakeland, yes, it is not your traditional Midwest power. It is not the Iowa Westerns. It is not the John A. Logans. It is not the Wabash Valleys. But they played them all 3 of them all year. Though all 3 of those teams all know how to pitch. So if any team knows how to go up and match up against great pitching, it is going to be Lakeland. They ran through the losers bracket once they got to the Midwest District Tournament. They had to face Swick twice. They had to face McHenry. They had to face Iowa Western twice, who Iowa Western has a guy that broke their win record that they had to face, which if you know anything about Iowa Western, you know the guys that have come through there that have just put up numbers. So you weren't facing not good pitching. So they are a team that knows how to face good pitching, and they don't like score runs in like your traditional, hey, we're gonna hit the long ball like Walter State, or hey, we're gonna like they hit a ton of sac flies, they walk a bunch, they do the small ball, but then they can't hit it out of the park. I think his name is Drew DuPont. He's their outfielder, I believe. One of their captains, might be an infielder. A lot of names going around right now in my head, but he's really their key kind of bat cog that is going to be a big part for them. There's not many upsets I can see kind of in the opening round, but this is one that when I was filling out my bracket, I'm like, you know what? I really like Lakeland. I feel like Blinn, but man, Lakeland, just this matchup of how Lakeland's played all year and who they've played really suits them in this opening round matchup to pull this upset.
Oh, I mean, we've got another even matchup coming in the 3 versus 8. Florida Southwestern and Salt Lake. It's the Florida champs versus the West District champs, and it might be my favorite opening round matchup between these two sides.
This is the Jersey matchup of the century. When we were doing the district previews and we were talking about Florida, I said I wanted to see the teal and the purple in Grand Junction, and it happened. I love the Bucks jerseys. I mean, this is what Bucks number 3 or 2 we've talked about. Bucks number 2, 3 Bucks. The third 3 Buccaneers in Grand Junction. Like usually it's dogs or cats or wildcats, but like we have Buccaneers. Like not that that's an uncommon mascot, but that there's 3 of them all in like it. Tangent, but man, this one's good. Southwestern, it's their first trip. There's their first trip to Grand Junction. Teams historically have not fared well in their first trip. There's only been 2 that I can think about, or at least one, and that's Howard because I went there, so I know the stat off the top of my head. But when they went in '91 was their first ever trip, and they've gone twice and won it. So it doesn't happen often, and I know that one was in 91. So like if there's another one, it hasn't happened or been that big of a thing, or hasn't been recent, I should say. But Florida Southwestern, man, what do I have here? Luke Orphy, the big thing for them, Luke Orphy, if you remember anything from last year's Grand Junction, he was like the key guy for Georgia Highlands. Stole like 60 bags in the offseason, ended up transferring to Florida Southwestern. And one of the things I remember when I was talking to Zach over there was if he can do half of what he did in Georgia, in Florida, which he stole 40 bags again. So he's got like 100 career stolen bags in 2 very tough regions. Like the dude is just a lightning rod. He's committed to Texas Tech. Will he make it to campus? We'll see. But man, he is one that you're going to want to keep your eye out. Once he gets on those bases, he's gone. And Salt Lake, man, they started in one of the toughest preseason tournaments probably in the country. Okay, yes, you had Panama City. That one was wild. That was crazy. Florida Southwestern was there, Gulf Coast, all the Florida schools. But Weatherford College hosted a deal where you had Weatherford, who was the Region 5 runner-up, right? You had Iowa Western, who was the Miss West runner-up, and you had Salt Lake, all in one spot. So all of them played against each other, and I think Salt Lake was a team that came out on top. I might be remembering that wrong, but that's like, especially early on in the year, if you don't know anything about the West, I've said this a billion times, a lot of people forget, you play all season with wood bats. So when they're going there, they're playing with metal bats in Region 5. But then when they go back to West, they're back to woods, and then they pick them right back up come postseason play. So their offensive numbers really don't show how good this team is. They've got a ton of guys that just know how to play. They know how to be scrappy. They beat Central Arizona. They beat Utah Eastern, who like came on hot, really hot down the stretch. They ran through that district tournament. They ran through that regional tournament. Their team, I mean, this is their second trip. Again, like I said, teams in their first trip don't usually succeed. And I think they went 1-2 2 years ago, if I'm remembering right. But man, this is one, like you said, this is a very, very tight 3-8. When I was looking at predicting it, that was kind of where I had Florida Southwestern. I think I had Salt Lake a little bit higher, just because of you're kind of not looking. You take the wood bat and stats, and it kind of gets a little funky when you're looking at it. But man, this is going to be a tight one. I could see either team here running it. I'll save that for the predictions. But yeah, this is going to be a close one. I can see either team coming out of this one, and both really are set up for that losers bracket if they get down in there to make a run to hopefully get to a national title through that losers bracket.
Let's move on. Final matchup, final Buccaneers team in the Division One tournament. It's Shelton State, the 5 seed, and Flodar Tech is the 6. This is one of the more favorable positions in the bracket, this 5 and 6. Both sides had battles in their district finals. Shelton State took down LSU Eunice. The pitching again looks really good. But if I remember correctly, the 6 seed has won twice out of the last several years. So the 6 spot favorable as well for Flodar Tech, who has some really good bats.
So this is the matchup. This is when you said, I think it was in our last show, you said, or maybe it was on the announcement show, right? This is one of the strangest brackets in like all of college sports. There's a lot of weird Division One regional brackets. There's a lot, or not regional, conference brackets, especially when you get to the pool play. We're not going to get into that. But like this one, the fact that like the 1 seed doesn't have a bye, but then like the 5, 6 have this weird thing where you're basically jumping to the quarter. You win one game and you're in the quarterfinals. This has always been like the favorable matchup, even before seeding. Like you said, there's been 2 number 6s, a 4, and then a 1, like since seeding has started. So like this has been kind of the winner of this game is really set up for that success. I mean, Florida's got the pitching. Shelton, their team, I was never like super high on them, but it's like they've been there, done that. This is their 3rd straight trip, and like they had to get through an LSUE team who just, I mean, I had them number 1 for most of the year. It was like a coin flip. I mean, for most people, Walter State, LSU, Eunice, Walter, like it was a coin flip. But obviously, Shelton State showed they didn't want to be disrespected. But it's just like, man, I mean, what do I have here? 3rd straight trip, obviously. Can they make a lot of noise? I think they can, especially in this 5-6 matchup. They took it to LSU Eunice to even get here. Their pitching staff is really their biggest strength. They're number 1 in team ERA with a 2.75. They have 9 shutouts. Their team batting average against, which is also leading the country, is a .222. So like their staff is going to be their big thing, especially when you get this bye. Like you're set up, regardless if you go losers or winners bracket, you're set up because you're playing one less game, period. So like their staff has really set them up to make a run here. Flodar, I mean, that Western, not Western, wow, way not Western. The Eastern District was just wild. Them and Hartford, like that game went back to back, like back and forth. Hartford won 1, then Florida won the next 2, and then throwing weather in there. Like the game 3 was delayed like 2 games. Like it was just wild. Whoever was going to come out of here, you kind of knew they were going to be kind of in this 5-6 range. But man, they've been so close the last couple of years, and this could be the year. I love their jerseys too. They got these camos that got like this blue shoulder thing kind of going on. But man, they got 2 guys hitting north of 400 and Patrick Evans and Jack Skinner. I think that's how I say it, or you say it. But like, again, bad with names. But this bracket is going to be a lot of fun. I can see either one of these teams making a run finally, just being in this 5-6 seed to really make it run for it. But I don't think this is as deep as this field as last year, but it is going to be just as much of a fun field as last year. Like last year, you could flip the 10 and the 1 and you weren't going to ask a question. This year, I think there's a little bit more parity in the teams, but I think it's going to be just as competitive with a lot more storylines kind of going throughout it.
Yep. Really quickly, you have any predictions? What's your overall take on D1?
Okay, so Lakeland's having the upset. They're upsetting Blinn. After that, don't really know what's going to happen, but I think they're going to upset Blinn. When it comes down to it, I'm probably going to release my brackets tomorrow. I usually do it like the day before. Might be Friday. But I have Walter State running through this thing. That's kind of where I saw it going. I don't know how I got Florida Southwestern into the losers bracket, but it ends up, well, I have Walter State running through it. That offense, that staff, just it's historic. Like, I mean, that's what they've done this year. And then Florida Southwestern going through that losers bracket. But man, I'm jealous again that you are going to go there and get to see all this. I really hope that if Walter State and Florida Southwestern play, I want the Walter State's dark grays versus like the teal purple jerseys. I think that would be in like an all-time, like not color palette friendly jersey combination, but like legit regardless. But yeah,
I mean,
I'm ready for this.
Read earlier of all the jerseys in the D1 tournament, Grand Junction. You got some good ones.
There's some good. I didn't find all the Lakeland ones. They've got some pretty cool ones too. But man, the Salt Lake, you've got all the all blacks. I'm not usually a fan, but if you can pull it off, like it's legit. But yeah, let's get into some D2 fun because this is where, oh my gosh, I don't want to get into it, but like.
Well, let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid. D2. So we start with the 8 and 9. Frederick and Iowa Central, two somewhat slept on teams, both have pretty powerful bats, and that's a pretty even 8-9 matchup.
Yeah, this is one. So obviously, both these teams have big bats. For Frederick, a lot of people really don't pay that much attention to the D2 side in the Northeast. I mean, they're the Mid-Atlantic region winners, Region 20. It's deep. I mean, Nick Fila, I think that's how you say it, from Allegheny, Maryland. Dude, like, had like 37 straight scoreless innings or something this year. Like, pitching is kind of like known up there in that Mid-Atlantic region. But the big thing, yeah, they've got the pitchers or the hitters, but like their pitchers are just ridiculous, led by Luke Pintrita, I believe that's how you say it, and Ethan Duff. I mean, those are the two anchors there. One's a freshman, one's a sophomore. And then their team K to 9 is 10.2. And then they've only allowed 18 home runs. So like they're going to hit it, but they're not going to let that long ball go, which pairs very interesting with Iowa Central, who last year pretty sure broke the all-time Division II home run record. And then this year, kind of not as much of a pace, but just as huge of numbers. So you have a team that doesn't give up home runs versus a team that hits a ton of home runs, which that's going to play really weird. Enid isn't like the most hitter friendly park, but it definitely does fly if the wind's blowing out because it's Enid, it's Oklahoma. And then Twister is really, that happens in Oklahoma. But like wind is there, but they're really led by North Carolina commit Cooper Nicholson. I believe he's got double digits, almost 20 home runs, I think. But I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's going to be really that big bat for them. That if you can control him, that's going to kind of lock them up for a little bit.
Yep, Tritons and Cougars, the 8-9. Winner of that one gets the 1 seed with the bye. Really no debate about this one. Pasco Hernando State, the top team, dominated this year. Do you see that continuing into Enid?
I mean, what's not to like about him, right? I've had him number 2 for a long time. I think I ended up having him at 3. Then you've got, yeah, I mean, they've been the 1 for forever. They've earned it. They've earned the respect. They've earned it. They proved me wrong. And hey, I've talked to Coleman over there. Yep. Hey, we're good. What? I mean, anyway, like, what's not to like about them, really? I mean, they can pitch, they can hit. They got through a very tough Florida Division II ranking or team. They also, I think, had a winning record against Florida Southwestern of the Division I side. So, like, they're not a team that has just cakewalked here. They have played a very tough schedule because they play in their midweeks. They play the Central Floridas. They play the Chipola's. They play the Florida Southwesterns. They're playing top national teams at all levels in those midweek games. And man, I mean, they're led by their ace, Michael Severisi. Definitely butchered that one, but he was our mid-year pitcher of the or mid-season pitcher of the year for good reason, and he's just kept that foot on the gas. I believe he was the region or the district pitcher of the year too, or the region pitcher of the year for Florida. Dude's committed, I believe, to Pittsburgh, if I'm remembering right off the top of my head. So hey, going from Florida summer to the Northeast, like, hey, I mean, it's not the first time I've seen that happen, but man, that's probably going to be who they throw game 1 just to get that edge up on them. And man, I can see them making a very, very deep run here in Enid.
Moving along, let's go to the 5 and the 12. Madison and Lackawanna. Talked about the grind of a schedule that Madison has had earlier in the year. How does that pay off come tournament time?
So Madison, if I believe right, if I'm remembering the record, they've traveled over to Arizona, which I think some teams in the Midwest, they go to Florida, some go to North Carolina. They went to Florida, or not to Florida, sorry. They went to Arizona. They played, I believe, South Mountain. They played a couple of the other big time. They might have played Pima too. So like they've played top teams from outside the region. And then when you get to Region 4, it's just like, it's a gauntlet. Like the top teams in Region 4 are legit year in and year out. I'll talk about one of the other teams here in a bit, but it's just, I mean, to get out of that. And then they played a very, very, very good Kankakee team in that district final to even punch the ticket. I mean, they're riding, I think, like a 12-game win streak coming into this. So it's like, right, they might be even longer. But it's just, they can pitch it, they can hit it. They're battle tested. So like, they're going to be able to face these top teams. For Lackawanna, like they're a team that their record isn't going to show how good they really are, because their record kind of is like wonky. Yes, they're the 10 seed, but I mean, they have wins over Division III two-time defending national champs, Gloucester. Like 3 of their losses or 2 of that team's losses are to Lackawanna. So it's like they've played top teams, they've played tough teams. They've just kind of fallen short otherwise, but then they get hot down the stretch. I will say, if you want a good follow for a game, follow the Lackawanna Falcon Baseball Twitter account. If anyone knows me, they know I love GIFs. In every single game, every play is a GIF. this is this with this. I've set challenges out, like only use office quotes, only use WWE gifts, and like they do it, and it's the greatest thing ever. And they've done it ever since I've started this. They were one of the first teams way back in the day that like followed me. One of my favorite hats I've ever gotten was like they had a white hat with like a it's like a heathered purple kind of thing. But their staff, I mean, it's the second time back with this staff when they went in the first year. I mean, it's I wouldn't want to say it's an uphill battle. I mean, I know why they're a 12 seed, but this is a team that, man, as a 12, they do have the staff, they do have the pitching that if they get in that losers bracket, they could make a run. They could upset Madison too, but like this is probably one of the more even, if you're looking really digging into it, really even first round matchups that are needed.
Winner of that one gets the 4 seed Heartland, a talented team at the plate. They have been to Enid before. They've won in Enid before. They've had success in Oklahoma. Where do you have Heartland as the 4 seed?
Heartland, man, they're not the same team that they were when they won it. That team was special. I mean, everyone says a national championship team is special. That team that won it, I believe it was in 22, maybe 21. That team had some guys that just, man, it was, you knew you didn't have to ask a question, and it just happened, and it was awesome. I was so happy for them when they finally won that one. But man, they are very different build, but still just as talented. Very solid 4 seed. They're gonna, I mean, whoever has to play them, good luck. But I think really Heartland, or I think kind of has the better draw kind of on who comes to them. But it's going to be, they're set up for success. They're a team that's been here, done that. They're battle tested as always, getting out of Region 23, going through that, I think Midwest or Gulf or Minute. All these districts confuse me because they like teams change and then you change the names, but it's always the same teams.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
But man, they're set up for success with whoever team makes it to them.
All right, let's move to the 7 and 10 Southeastern and Kellogg. Southeastern gets one of the at-large bids. Thoughts on this matchup and Southeastern getting that at-large bid?
Man, so with the at-large bids, especially the Division II ones, I had probably the 3 teams that like I was like, okay, these are who. There's probably 10. I think I could have put my name like, okay, I think these 2 could get, these 10 could probably do it. But when you really looked at it, it was going to come down to 3. I had Southeastern as probably my 3rd most likely. They ended up getting it. I thought Kankakee just had a little bit better resume, a little bit more to go to it. Unfortunately, that's not how the cookie crumbled. But I mean, Southeastern got the at-large bid last year. They've been here. They've been in the national championship game 2 years ago, I believe. So it's a team that's been here. They've done that. They've been just on the cusp for so long. But the thing is for them, they're also not your normal Southeastern team. Usually they are a very, very heavy pitching team. Like that is what they have been known for. And this year, yeah, they've got the pitching, but also like their hitting is what's really done it. They've hit 70 home runs. They have 235 extra stolen bases. And as a team, they're hitting a 327 with, I mean, Iowa, yes, the ball flies, but like pitching is still very, very heavy in Iowa in that region. So like they're hitting well against good pitching. So, I mean, they're going to be a tough 7 to whatever higher seed gets them. But it's going to be a good matchup with Kellogg, who really came out of that region, out of that Gulf Coast, man. Not Gulf Coast, sorry. Out of the, again, all these districts are confusing. They played a very tough Cayuga team that, man, one of the best hitting teams in the country that just fell short. The Triceratops, probably my favorite mascot in junior college baseball. Like, I'm just putting that out there. It's a freaking Triceratops that is turquoise. Like, what's not to like about that? But, I mean, they're again, battle tested coming out of that with Blackhawk with them. I mean, it's going to be tough to whoever comes out of this one. It's going to be a very, very tough fight in this opening round for these two. Again, another very, very close opening round.
Yeah, Great Lakes District is what you were.
There we go. I knew it was Michigan, but I can't. It's late. It's been a day. Like, yeah, but we're talking junior college baseball, so I'm probably going to be up for 2 hours coming down from this because I always am.
Yeah, Kellogg's won 17 games in a row. So red hot coming into Enid, and they take on a Southeastern team as the at-large bid with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. So, see, Pearl River, 2 Division II titles from Mississippi in the last 9 years. Pearl River was one of them. Does this year's team have the firepower to add another?
I really like how this bracket shapes up for them. I've had them number 1 for me for the majority of the year. I love the mustard jerseys. Like they can hit it, they can pitch it. I mean, one of the greatest stories out of the district tournament was number 1. I don't remember your name, but number 1 dude got like a line drive smoked off his face, then comes up like the next at bat and absolutely drops a massive home run. and then just watches it. And it was like, I mean, the tweet said it all. Hey, if you look up bandit in the dictionary, it's this guy's face. Like the picture's epic. I mean, to get out of Mississippi with only 9 losses is ridiculous. Like, and I think 2 of those losses were to East Central, who got the other at-large bid. So like, I don't know the last time a team came out of Mississippi with less than 10 losses. Like it's ridiculous. So I mean, they are set up again. There are 2. I really think this year's team or this year's bracket, it's like a 1A and a 1B. Like that's kind of what the 1 and 2 went to. Like both could be 1s, both could be 2s, and like I'd be okay with either one of them. But I really like Pearl this year. They've got, I mean, I want to know if hey Mike, I know you probably listen. Are you bleaching your hair too? Because you did that last time and it was awesome. I know your team's bleached it, but are you gonna bleach it? So I need bleach hair. Okay. I know you're watching. The bleach hair was awesome. I love that tradition. Every time they get to the postseason, and I love the way the new tournament looks, man. I just need to get to Mississippi one of these years and just like sit there and bask in it. Like, yeah, I'm not a Mississippi homer by any means. I'm not from Mississippi. I'm from Texas. But like, man, the Region 23 is just, it's awesome. It's the best.
And they got their respect in this tournament. East Central gets the other at-large seed. They're the 6, and they'll play Catawba Valley. So the 2 at-large seeds are the 6 and 7 of East Central, Southeastern, who we mentioned. What do you like about this East Central and Catawba Valley matchup?
I mean, again, East Central's really been that number 2 team in Mississippi all year. And I think most people knew when it came down to it, whoever was going to get one of the at-large bids, it's kind of been that last year too, was going to be whoever really was that runner-up in Mississippi. I know last year's team, East Central, lost, I think, in the semis, but they still got that at-large bid, that respect, because of what they've done all year. For Catawba Valley, this is a team I am so glad they are back at this national stage. Some people might not know, but 2 years ago, in 2023, they actually were going to completely cut, I think it was like all of outside athletics to like save money for something. Like they were just going to go solely inside with basketball, volleyball, all those. But then because they've been such a predominant great force at the Division II ranks, they've turned out tons of pro guys, tons of Division I guys. I think a bunch of boosters and a bunch of alumni came and like raised money. But basically they played the entire 2023 year at the end of this year. This is the last season we're ever going to have. So a lot of guys left the break. A lot of guys were like, hey, would love to still be here, but like, I don't know what next year's going to bring. So that, hey, which as a coach, a lot of them were like, hey, we get that. Like, we will help you find places. We will help you move on. Luckily, May, right after the season ended, they got told that their team was back. They could still have a team. They're still going to be funded. And then, I mean, last year they didn't pan out right, but then this year they've been very, very chippy. The Region 10 or Region 11 over there was really competitive with Cleveland, with Patrick Henry, with them. And they kind of came on hot down the stretch. I mean, I think they only had 18 losses maybe, but man, it's kind of one of those storylines that like you didn't know was there. But then when you find out about it, like, oh, well, that's a cool kind of Cinderella story. Catawba Valley is a very, very tough team. They're very, very scrappy. So East Central really is not going to be much out of the realm of like what they faced. So it's going to be a very chippy kind of matchup. I've said chippy like a billion times. Each show seems to be like one of those words I just keep saying, but it's going to be chippy. I mean, they're going to grind it out, but I mean, Catawba and East Central, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Catawba Valley Red Hawks as the 11 seed. They get East Central, and winner gets the 3 seed South Mountain in the first year, jumping down to D2. They kept a really competitive team, and now they earn a bye and the 3 seed and are in good position in Enid.
So South Mountain and Pima were kind of like that 1-2. Everyone kind of preseason, everyone kind of chalked them. I think I had Pima 1. I think I had South Mountain 5. I know y'all had them both kind of, I think, top 10. Everyone kind of knew it was going to come down to them, those two coming out of the West. Now, did we all think Oklahoma was going to be what it was this year? No. I knew it was going to be good, but once the season, it was either going to be South Mountain or Pima coming out of Arizona, and then it was going to be South Arkansas. Props to them, 3 straight trips to the district final. Like, no one really saw that coming either. But man, great props for them, because that was a crazy tournament there. But I mean, South Mountain, they've shown it, they've earned it, and they're going to be, I mean, the Cougs are hot. So yeah, and this is another team that played with wood bats all year. Now they have a metal bat in their hand, and now they're in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma has wind. So like, they're going to be set up to send some balls over fences.
All right, predictions for D2. What you got?
So I have this it feels bad saying it. I see it as a chalky bracket,
Oh, he's
but
going chalk.
I'm going. I have Pearl River going through it. I have Pasco going through it. But then I have both of them being undefeated. So that means it's a best 2 out of 3 series for the national title because neither team has 2 losses. And then I have it going 3 games, and I have Pearl like squeaking it out. I think it's going to be, it could be either one of them, but I think it's those two kind of are the two. Obviously, it's the 1 and the 2 to say they're the favorites. But man, I mean, everyone's been really high on Pasco. Everyone's been really high on Pearl. Like, hey, let's have these two clash and let's have a best 2 out of 3 and let's just enjoy what's happening at Enid. If I'm in town and I can make it, if that gets to a game, I might drive the 8 hours north to Enid. I might swing that. My wife might hate me for it, but like I might swing that. That might be worth it driving the 8 hours to Enid to do that.
If Pearl River wins, you're gonna have to bleach your hair too. After
I mean, if I might. She might also hate that, but it is summer, and I've done crazier things in the summer with my hair. So,
all right, D3, final World Series. This one in Auburn, New York, at Falcon Park. Opening matchup: 6 seed, 3 seed, Surrey and Brookdale. Both teams coming in really hot. 15 straight wins for Surrey, and then a win over RCSJ Gloucester to punch the ticket for Brookdale. So, what you got in that matchup?
so Surrey's a team. I think I've had them top 10 a lot of the year. Getting out of that Region 10 in Division 3 was really tough. There are some other storylines kind of going on, not necessarily meant for this show. I'll probably talk about them this summer. But just it was a really, really tough Region 10 Division 3 wise with Camp, with Caldwell, with Surrey, with but those have been the top ones that kind of been fluctuating. But man, it was a gauntlet to get out of there, and then 15 down the stretch is just ridiculous. Then Brookdale, man, that Region 19 tournament was just, it was a banger from the drop with Salem upsetting Gloucester in game 1. And then like Brookdale beating Cumberland. Like it was just like it was like Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4 thrown into like a 2-day span. And it was just banger after banger. It was just legit. And the fact that this is Brookdale's first trip to the World Series in 10 years, with how good some of these Brookdale teams have been, with like, I think it was last year, maybe it was Rocco Bowles. I'm not butcher that name, but I think it was last year. Dude was at, I think he was at Gloucester the year before, then went to Brookdale, or maybe it was flipped. But like Brookdale's had some great teams the last probably 10 years, obviously 10 years. And the fact that they just haven't gone, it's criminal, but that just shows how deep Region 19 is as a whole. Like it's, and I think they've had a ton. Cumberland's won, or not, yeah, Cumberland's won. Gloucester's won like 2 or 3. Brookdale 10 years ago. Like it's, you're getting a top team out of Region 19, and so this is going to be a very battle tested versus battle tested matchup. Like it is to give Surrey a 6 is like really kind of disrespecting them, but it's like where else are you going to put them? Like with how deep this Auburn bracket is, or this Auburn tournament, like it is deep from the jump, and it's going to be a slugfest. This is, and there's a certain matchup here that if it happens, this needs to be not just on ESPN Plus, not just streamed wherever it streams. ESPN, put this on your freaking main channel, because if this game happens, like it needs to be nationally seen. But we'll get to that when we get to predictions. So
let's move to the 7 and 2. 7 seed is Oakton. 2 seed is RCSJ Gloucester. They steal the at-large bid after that wild Region 19 tournament you were talking about. That 12-inning game against Salem. What a game that was. That Salem ended up pulling out to put RCSJ Gloucester in the losers bracket and set up Brookdale to help get their ticket, punch their spot. Defending champs take the at-large bid. Do they have a chip on their shoulder as the at-large?
no, and to say they like stole the at-large bid is really, I don't know how to, like, this is one, like once they lost, and once it was in that district final game was when they lost, it was like, okay, I thought Region 3 was going to get the at-large bid, the North, Atlantic, North, whatever. But man, after they lost, it's like, well, throw all the papers out. Like it's right. Them. You're the 2-time defending national champs. You've lost what now, 6, 7 games. Great, meme. But like you've lost single-digit games all year, and so like you were going to get the at-large bid. They knew it. I mean, it's only going to put the chips, sure, but like no one goes on a stretch like this for 3 years, like ever. I think the last team to even get this close was Tyler back when they won 4 in a row, which even that was like they had to get an at-large bid for one of them. And I will say the Division 3 committee, the at-large bid historically has a better chance to win the World Series because they're picking the best team that deserves it. I think one of Gloucester's was an at-large bid. I know Cumberland's, when they won it, was that they were the at-large bid. I know Tyler won one as an at-large bid. Herkimer, when they won it, was an at-large bid. So like the at-large bid at the Division III ranks has historically been a team that wins it. So like, I mean, obviously they're the two-time defending national champs, but like it really shapes up good for them, and they really they got the eight, they got the eight, they got the seven, but they got the 8 seed in my opinion. Oakton got really hot down the stretch. They won a very tough Region 4 tournament. They beat Joliet, and they had to win 2 games in a row. I think they played 2 doubleheaders in a row to even get to play Joliet, and then like run ruled them one game, and then like took it to extras in another or something. So like Oakton showed it, and they beat a really tough Owens team in the districts. So like they're battle tested. I don't think it's a drop in the water against Gloucester, I think, but like they got the more favorable opening round matchup in my opinion.
Don't sleep on Oakton. They beat Joliet on an 11th inning grand slam in that region tournament. Oakton is in as the 7 seed. Let's go to 8-1. The 8-1 seed, I know this one bugs you. Century is the 8 seed, and they get the undefeated SUNY Niagara. Pretty good 8-1 matchup, all things considered, but no one wanted to be the 8 seed to face the undefeated Thunderwolves. I know you were higher on Century than 8. What do you think of the game?
This is one that we teased a little bit earlier in the show. When I saw them as the 8, I think the only text I sent Zach, all caps, was the 8 ? Exclamation point, question mark. Like that is the exact text. And I was like, why? Now I get it. It's Minnesota. I love the Minnesota schools. I mean, I think I've had Century sitting in the top 10 all year. I mean, they have 9 losses. 2 of those losses are to SUNY Niagara earlier this season when they played at the Rush Mat in Florida. So like these two teams have played each other, which doesn't usually happen at the Division III level, just with how spread out. I mean, I guess the Northeast kind of, you get a little bit more mix in there, but a team from Minnesota and a team from New York playing each other in Florida. But like, I mean, it was a 7-1 win and a 6-0 win in March for Niagara. I mean, Niagara's perfect. They're finally the number 1. Like, I was going through, and I think I sent it to you too, Zach, but I was posting like my preseason, like what were my thoughts on all these teams. And I think I said something along the lines of like, Niagara can, like they're poised for like a historic thunderous run or something, like look for them to be on the national, whatever. And like, hey, I mean, you're the number 1 seed. You are potentially on the cusp of the second ever, if it is to happen, they are on the cusp of the first or second ever perfect baseball season. If LSU or Shreveport doesn't win theirs. But man, it's just, I'm glad SUNY's the 1. I hate that Century's the 8. I just, Century's a team, and we'll get to it here in a bit, but man, Century arguably has one of the best 2A players in the Division III ranks in Hunter Gunther. But this is a great matchup, but it doesn't favor either one of these two teams because I would like them to face someone else and them face somewhere else to give themselves better chances. But man, yeah, that was a little bit more of a rant on that one than some of the other ones. But man, hey, don't let the Ducks get hot. Let's say that.
Let it all out. Yeah, fireworks out of the gate though. 8-1 Century and SUNY Niagara, and then we'll wrap up D3 here with this 5-4 Northern Essex, Dallas Richland. No Eastfield out of Dallas this year. The 3-time defending runner-ups. Richland up to the 4 seed in a pretty even 4-5 game.
So this is one where, okay, I hate to say this, I really wish Eastfield was here so the Bills would have a partner. Like, is that bad to say? 4 straight Super Bowl losses, 4 straight national title losses. Like, I mean, if you're looking for a storyline, like that would one you'd want to break. I don't wish for a team obviously to lose 4 national titles, but also like if it happened, like, wow. But yeah, this is a great 4-5 matchup here. Dallas Richland is a very, very, I mean, the record isn't going to show it, but coming out of Dallas, it's a lot like Florida, where you're playing the Division I teams in your midweeks. You're playing the Division IIs that come down. So is their record a little bit like closer to 500 where it might not look as nice as say some of these other teams? Yes. But when you look at their schedule, they've played an extremely tough schedule. I think they did last year. They played like twice as many Division I schools than any other Division III team. So like they did that again this year. So like they're battle tested. They've faced tough pitching. They've faced tough hitters. They've had to play in hostile environments. They got really, really hot down the stretch, even to get to the Region 5 final. I think they're on like a 15-game win streak, sweeping the last series, sweeping through Region 5, handling Eastfield pretty handily in the district final too. And then you have a Northern Essex team that I believe this is like their 5th straight trip to the World Series. Granted, I think some of them were in Tennessee, and now it's obviously in New York. But I mean, you've got pitching versus hitting, 2 teams that have been here, 2 teams that have done that, not won it, but done that. I know Northern Essex wants to do better than what they've done the last couple of years. I think they've gone 1-2 barbecue the last couple times. So like, hey, they're vying for that big push. But this is a really good kind of matchup for that 4-5.
All right, let's wrap up. Predictions for D3.
It's perfect. I want it. I'm sorry. I want SUNY Niagara to run perfect. Now the kicker. Okay, this is okay. That round 1 matchup. Yes, if they're going perfect, obviously SUNY's winning. But then Century is running through the losers bracket. Then we have an epic winners bracket semifinal, national semifinal against Gloucester and SUNY. Don't know how that's go. I'm gonna say it's like a 1-run game. Who knows? But then Gloucester, because how this bracket works, they get kicked down to the other side. Century runs through that, faces Gloucester, beats them, then faces SUNY in the national title after running through the loser bracket, but SUNY wins it. But yeah, no, if anyone knows me, like, yes, obviously Division I junior college baseball is what brought me to this level, what brought me to the coverage here. But like, once I started diving into the D3 bracket, the D3 teams, like, that's the one that like I get more giddy about because like, oh, like what? Because like, okay, obviously like I'd like Century, but I've liked Century all year. But if you look, it's just, I get way more into the weeds with the Division III teams because there's a lot less to go with, but also there's a lot more, but also there are a lot. It's like, I don't know, but I love all these levels. I love all this. And it's just the best time of year. We have national titles that are going to be crowned in like less than 2 weeks, which means I'm going to the off season, which kind of sucks, but also like I might need a little bit of break from baseball. But anyways, yeah. What is it? SUNY, Pearl, Walters.
Yeah, to do a recap, 1 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed. So living on the edge over there. But that wraps up our World Series preview. For one final time, when we come back from the break, we'll do a hard 90. The last one of the season. Noah Sharp gets his 90 seconds to rant as we wrap up. So stay with us. We're back in a moment.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for 2-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
Good morning.
Why so serious? Great shot.
Car's 250. You got it.
Greenside bunker, land short.
Trust your line.
There's plenty of green.
Brakes towards the water.
Lots of coaching today, huh?
We're 1 up.
When you strive to be the best, you need the right insights. Zurich has insurance solutions and risk strategies to help prepare your business for tomorrow.
We are back, Junior College Hard 90 seconds for Noah Sharp to talk about our lovely sport in the NJCAA. Noah, go ahead.
So I had other notes written down. I was going to rant about seeding. I've already done that. I was going to rant about at-large bids. I kind of already did that. We're going to throw a curveball here because a lot of this, I was told by a person a long time ago, always say thank you to the people that helped you get to where you are, right? Well, obviously, thank you, Zach, for letting me be a part of the show all year. It's been 10 shows. I know it's been a lot of work for you. Not as much for me, but a lot of work for you. So I'm very thankful for that. I am very thankful to the boss man, Chris Parker, for even like thinking of me to be a part of this, because this is just the junior college story, this whole thing. If you've known how this thing started, I still laugh that I'm in this position, that y'all are allowing me on y'all's airways to be the dumb guy with the microphone, the talking head that just rants. But like, I'm very thankful for all of y'all. Year 2, maybe next year, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like, let's do it. I'm game. Maybe some fall stuff, because junior college fall seasons are also crazy. And then hey, junior college game day. Like, I mean, I know we got the ESPN deal. There wasn't as many games this year, but maybe next year. I mean, it could happen, right? But at the end of the day, thank you guys. Thank all of the teams that have followed along and humored both me and Zach on these airways, because apparently y'all actually like this from everyone that I've talked to. So like, hey, maybe year 2 would be even bigger and better. But that might be longer than 90 seconds. But again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to Zach. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to the national office for letting me cover the great sport of junior college baseball. So yeah, I mean, that's a less ranty way of doing it to end the last 90, and I'm definitely over, and I don't care. But yeah, it's the best time of year, guys.
Yeah, a lot of things in the works with NJCAA baseball. So, yeah, it's been an awesome run this season. Thanks, of course, Noah, for joining us, and for all the people that tuned in. Make sure to give us a follow on the NJCAA YouTube. Be sure to tune in to the JBB, as Noah does a great job with that. And that wraps up season number 1. So good luck to all those teams in the tournament. Auburn, New York, Enid, Oklahoma, Grand Junction, Colorado. I'll be out there on the call for Division 1 starting on Saturday morning. You can watch D2 and D3 on the NJCAA Network. That's all we got for you. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you next season on JUCO Hard 90.